What's up, legends? It's your boy Earl Shatter, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys the best RK7 Garrison class setup in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. If you guys are unfamiliar or unaware, they did do an update 1.13 very recently that implemented a bunch of weapon changes, a bunch of buffs for some weapons, nerfs for some others, some tweaks here and there. Some of these buffs are pretty insane, some of these buffs are a little bit less noticeable. Some of the nerfs were pretty noticeable. They even actually took back some of them. But what we're focusing on today is going to be the RK7. And this thing did get a buff, and it was not a surprise to me, as this thing really needed something to make it, even usable. And I think this buff really does it for it. The crazy part is, for those of you that haven't finished Dark Matter, it's going to make it that much easier. You won't particularly have to go too hardcore. For those of you that don't like hardcore mode, that's probably a blessing. Before we get into the rest of the video, and we also break down this class setup, if you guys do enjoy this content at any time, go down below and show your support for the channel by crushing that like button. We do have a goal of 50 likes on today's content. Also, if you guys are new and want to find your way back to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button alongside hitting that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future content. I actually did a video a while back in regards to the RK7 Garrison, and when I made that video, the gun was just not good. Didn't have a lot of great things to say about it. I did have a class setup for you guys, and it is probably the same class setup we're using today. The biggest difference is going to be, of course, the fact that now the weapon is actually usable. So for our best class setup using the RK7, we're going to, of course, be starting with the ELO sight. Now the ELO sight is going to help us be a little bit more accurate. The iron sights on the pistol sometimes can be difficult to use, so just being able to have that dot, something to pinpoint their head, can be kind of helpful, especially when you're using a pistol. It's going to be very important to be accurate. And that's going to actually lead us into our next attachment for this weapon, and that's going to be the grip. The grip is extremely useful because, like we said, this is all about accuracy when using a handgun, or particularly this pistol here. As the RK7 is a burst fire, the bullets as you shoot are going to tend to go towards the sky, but it is good to keep that recoil low, keep that accuracy high. I actually found that I think if I hit all shots for 2 bursts, I was able to take somebody out without even hitting them in the head per se. And that is kind of nice. I mean, if you guys were using this weapon before the buff, it was a very rough situation. But update 1.13 came to save the day and increased damage ranges across the board for the RK7, actually making this weapon usable. Now that we've covered accuracy, we're going to get into our next attachment for the RK7, which is going to be rapid fire. Rapid fire is going to allow us to shoot our bursts at a faster succession, meaning we're going to be able to take our opponents down quicker with this weapon. This is going to be important because a lot of people out there are going to be using primary weapons, Maddoxes, SOGs, ICRs, you get the picture. But basically, you're going to want to give yourself the best opportunity to take somebody out in a gunfight, especially if they actually start shooting at you. And with the RK7, getting 2 to 3 bursts out as fast as possible, especially on target, is going to give you the best chance to do that. I find that using rapid fire in order to get those bullets out quicker is absolutely a must for this gun. Let me know down in the comment section below if you guys do not run rapid fire on this weapon, and if you actually do find success with it. Now our last attachment that we're going to be talking about for this weapon is going to be extremely useful as well. It's going to be extended mags. If you're running rapid fire and no extended mags, you're going to be going through your bullets pretty quickly, spending a lot of time reloading, and with a handgun or pistol, that is just not a great idea. As you're going to run into multiple enemies, or you're even going to run into an enemy, have very little time to get your reloads off and run into another. So having that little bit of extra ammo per clip is going to be extremely useful. So now that we've covered all the attachments that I'm running on this weapon, we can go over the gear and the perks. Now for my gear choices, I only really choose 2 in this game. It's going to be between the ComSec device and the stim shot. For those of you out there going to use this class setup, I highly recommend that you guys actually run the stim shot, although I'm not in this gameplay, as it's going to allow you to get those heals in quicker. Using something like this, you're going to need it. I chose to use the ComSec device, but that was just because I was running solo and getting my streaks, as you guys are going to see in this gameplay, came quite clutch. Also, just helped demolish the entire lobby altogether. Next, we're going to get right into our perks. Perk 1, we are running Scavenger. Scavenger is obviously good to replenish ammo from those dead enemies. In this gameplay here, I did end up with Crash. There is a lot of the time I don't end up being Crash, so this is what Scavengers typically used for. And it's also good to have just in case you do have somebody running Crash on your team that isn't the most efficient with it. For our next perk that we're running, we are using Gung Ho. This is going to allow us to fire our weapon and use equipment while sprinting, recover from our sprints faster, and move at full speed while reloading. This is very useful, again, for a handgun class setup. you're more than likely going to be sprinting a lot, and getting out of that sprint quicker and being able to aim down sight and take out your opponent is very important, as literally every second counts. And for our last perk on this class setup, we are going to be using Dead Silence. Dead Silence is of course a great counter to those using Acoustic Sensor. You know, honestly, it's not very often that I get, against teams calling in endless UAVs, but I do see a lot of people using the Acoustic Sensor, so I do find a little bit more value from being off the Acoustic Sensor than I do the UAV, and that's why you guys are going to see me, in most of my class setups especially, running Dead Silence. That is actually going to wrap things up for today's RK7 class setup. Yes, it is very nice to see that they buffed this weapon. I think they did just the right amount to where this weapon isn't overpowered. It's usable now. It is probably not, still not one of the best handguns in Black Ops 4, but I think you guys could go out there, throw this class setup together, and actually enjoy using it. Feel like you can get a kill. And if you guys haven't finished your Dark Matter camo or your golden pistols, diamond pistols, whatever it might be, go out there, get this class setup put together, grind out the rest of those headshots, finish up those challenges, get your Dark Matter unlocked, because it's going to be a lot easier now than it was before. If you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure you guys show your support for the channel by going down below and crushing that like button. We do have that goal of 50 likes in today's content. Also, if you guys are new, want to find your way back to the channel, make sure you guys do subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future content. I appreciate you guys all for your support in each and every video. You guys are all amazing, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.